You served at the State Department with then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. You know her well. You are rooting for her in this campaign. I am interested in what you think her biggest asset is post her first debate, and what her biggest challenge is in this election.
So I should say I'm the head of New America, and we are nonpartisan. So in my professional capacity, I'm not rooting for anybody. I admire Hillary Clinton. I'm a Democrat. Yes, I am supporting her in my personal capacity. I think what showed at the debate, she's extraordinarily experienced and she knows how to get things done. And she is, a smart, funny, resilient, powerful woman. And I thought that came out, absolutely. I think she is contending with what, frankly, anybody who is currently a politician or has been a politician is contending with, which is a nation that is fed up with our politics. And one of her fights in her campaign is to reform our politics, but obviously it's easier when you sort of take an outsider position and attack everything. And that is a large part what this election's about on the left and on the right, where Americans don't think our political system works. I think they're right in many ways, and that means there's a tendency just to say, out with all of you, whereas in fact, the government does have to keep functioning.
So that her biggest challenge now in liability is this anti-political establishment movement.
So. I think
what
so.
about her? You know her well as a person. What about inside of her? Where is the biggest challenge or weakness?
Well,
you don't see one?
I don't. What I see is she's human, right? Everybody has weaknesses. But what I actually see is somebody who didn't have to do this, right? And I look at her and I think, my God, she's 10 years older than I am, and she is willing to take on what has got to be the hardest thing going. A presidential campaign is just huge. She didn't have to. Right? And she's not doing it to be president. She's doing it because she really thinks she can make a difference as president. And that's, I think, what keeps her going, right? And what powers her. And so, she, in some ways, it's funny. Americans know more about her than anybody else. You can read all her emails.
Right.
You can see what was she like day to day, the person I knew. And I have to say, I did not know her before I went into the State Department. So I'm not a 20-year member of Hillary land.
While you were at the State Department, I heard that you urged then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton to take time off. Is that true?
It is.
Take me into that conversation.
I have to just say, though, I wrote her countless emails about foreign policy, and her emails, get released, and all anybody looks at are the ones that I wrote her, talking about work and life. But it's true.
Maybe more people can relate to it.
Yeah. But I sort of thought, even here, I'm being defined this way. But I did. I wrote her an email saying, if you would go home on the 21st of December, because I knew that she was thinking about it, it would be great because many of us make the holidays happen, make Christmas, because we were on the eve of Christmas. And if you go home, then we can go home. And she did, right? And the thing that people don't understand is I knew she would think this was an important issue. I wasn't writing to a random boss. I was writing to Hillary Clinton, the woman who had hired me and who had asked about my children and whom I'd told that I was going to be commuting back and forth and who understood that. So I knew she would be responsive. That's exactly why I sent it. And she did. She left at the 21st and I went home and we had Christmas, and so did lots of other people.